I went from making $90,000 a year as an engineer to like $10 an hour putting lenses in boxes. And all my other friends were making $90,000 a year as engineers. Unknowingly sacrificed my friendships at the time because I wanted to focus on something that I truly believed in. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Fruits on the Tree. Today I have a very special episode because I'm interviewing a very special person. This person is a good friend of mine who I met during the pandemic, and his company has done some amazing work in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, Silicon Valley. He's also won 3 Emmy Awards. Some of his clients are the Golden State Warriors, the San Francisco Giants, the San Francisco 49ers, Facebook, Google, you name it. So without further ado, I'm going to let you guys enjoy this interview with my friend Matthew Maniego. So good to have you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start by asking Matt some questions about his background, when he got his big break, and some of the sacrifices that he had to make.
My background. So, believe it or not, I did not intend to be in this career path. I started out as a civil engineer. I graduated in 2007 with an engineering degree.
Where did you go to school at?
San Jose State.
Okay.
Just down south here, about 40 minutes away.
Yeah.
So I got an engineering degree. I was designing roads and bridges at the time. And this was like in 2008 and 9. And then 2010, I got laid off because the economy was really bad. And after experiencing that, I went the route that our parents tell us to go, the traditional route, going to school, get a good job. I wasn't warned about a recession.
Oh, that's right.
So, I had to manage, but that route got me there.
Yeah.
And so what I told myself was, you know what, I want to do something that I really love doing.
Mm-hmm.
And in high school, I used to film like really dumb stuff in high school, like jackass type videos, like pranks and stuff like that. We also did like videos for like Spanish class and English class where you would make small movies. So that's sort of where that was like the genesis of like my videography career or filmmaking career. So in 2010, I got laid off and I told myself, I was like, I'm gonna try something that I really love. And so I took a chance and I got a job at this place called borrowlenses.com. The reason for that was because I could not afford video equipment. It was very expensive. It still is to this day.
Still are, yeah.
It's very expensive. So the only way I could access this equipment was to be in a place that gave me access. And so working at that place, I was able to get my hands on pretty much any piece of equipment I wanted, pretty much for free.
It's like a paid internship.
Yeah, so I was learning on the job, learning all the technical aspect.
Awesome.
I knew I had some of the artistic aspect of it, but I learned all things technical from this job. And the benefit was there was also people who went to art school and who were also freelancing that were also working at this place. And so we all kind of just taught each other like how to shoot, whether that was a video, photo, or, even a little bit of graphic design, things like that. So I learned a lot there. And then I spent 2 years there. I mean, long story short, I was forced to quit because I was really eager to really be a filmmaker. If you guys are like me, I'm the type that doesn't like to take direction. I like to give direction. I like to go, do things my own way. And then I had an opportunity to go shoot like a pilot for this reality show. It was called Goodwill Granny.
Goodwill Granny.
Yeah. And so my boss at the time was like, okay, you could go on the shoot or you can have a job here. You pick one though. I chose the shoot. It was like, there was no lead up to it. It was kind of just like, make the decision now. And of course, I rolled the dice because I was rolling the dice on myself.
Yeah.
Right? Like I knew that if I went this direction, I can probably make it big or at least make a name for myself, right? And so I was like, excuse my language, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. And so I quit my job that day and then went on this job. And it was 9 days of shooting. It was like 10 hours a day for this reality pilot. It wasn't exactly what I wanted, but it was in the direction that I wanted to go. And after that, I got a job with the Warriors. No, I'm just kidding. No, it was it turned to shit after that, actually.
How did you get that opportunity to begin with?
Some of the guys that I work with at Borrow Lenses, they needed a shooter. And so they got the proper, days off or whatever, and I didn't. I wasn't able to. But it was an opportunity that I saw that could springboard my career. And so I took it. So that's how that opportunity came about. But so that was 2010.
And that's through your network.
That was through my network, yeah. So it was about 2 years of like freelancing and not making any money. Steady grinding, pretty much, like doing things for free. I was really into time lapse at the time. This is before time lapse became an actual thing, right? Like before Breaking Bad used it, before House of Cards used it. We were shooting time lapses here, or I was shooting time lapses here in the Bay Area. So from 2010 to 2012, it was a bunch of on and off jobs. And then in 2013, I posted a video called Paradise SF. And I posted it on Twitter and YouTube. And the San Francisco Giants found it.
Wow.
And they liked it enough to DM me. And they asked, hey, would you like to do this for us? And it was at that moment where I was like, oh my God. Because I'm a pretty big sports fan as it is. Like, without filmmaking,
Yeah.
I'm into sports. Like, I love sports. I love the Giants. I love the Warriors. I love the 49ers. I grew up here. I'm a Bay Area kid. And so it was like a mix or a mixture of the two things that I loved, with this filmmaking and sports.
Sports, yeah.
And so that was sort of the big break, because I was consistent online. I was consistent in creating. I was consistent in just practicing my craft. I think there's a saying that you need to put 10,000 hours into the thing that you really want to do to be like remotely good at it.
Yeah.
And I think during those 2 years, I spent, I want to say, okay, the video that I put out was over 400,000 photos. Okay, so each photo is about, each session was about 2 or 3 hours. So I probably spent more than, in the span of 2 years, more than 10,000 hours doing that same thing. Whether it was shooting time lapses or shooting jobs at clubs for free, or, shooting weddings, right? I got a sense of what it was like to shoot. And then this opportunity came. It's, I think someone I heard said that luck is a combination of preparation and hard work. So I was preparing myself, but I was also working my ass off, right? So when that opportunity came, I knew it was like my time.
Backtrack a little bit.
Yeah.
So when you said you decided to quit your job,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you were forced to quit,
Yeah.
but at the same time, you were betting on yourself.
Yep.
Besides your confidence in yourself,
Yeah.
was there anybody in your circle of influence that actually said, hey, you have a shot at this, like you're really good?
Yeah, I had a group of friends that were that I was shooting with,
Okay.
but they all had like full-time jobs. Only one of them was in the creative field. And then at the time, I was dating my wife at the time. She was one of the biggest kind of motivators into this. So she was always supportive of the work, even before we were married, or even before we were dating. I was sort of like using that as a way to impress her,
Yeah.
because she's also a photographer.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. She's also in the field, right?
Yeah, so like I was using that as a means to impress her, but it worked. It definitely worked. Now we have 2 kids and we're very happily married. But it's hard to say, because in being Asian,
Yeah.
being an artist isn't really like the number one thing,
Right.
at least on our mind, right?
Right.
It's not top of mind to be the career path, right?
That's right.
We're traditionally thought to be an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer, accountant, whatever that might be.
Professional degree of.
Right. So, but I went that route again, and it did not pan out. So I went the other route. So that's sort of, going back to you're saying my circle. My circle was always supportive of me, but no one ever really pushed me to like bet on myself. Right? They would say like, "Oh, that was a cool video, Matt." Like, no one really ever said, "I think you could do this professionally," right? Until I got to the point where I was doing it enough and really good enough for someone to notice,
I see.
right? And so that's how my circle expanded.
So I know we're kind of backtracking.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that you could tell the full story.
Yes.
So when you were doing that, it was a bit of a gamble for sure.
Yeah.
But you also have seen enough to know that you're onto something really good, right? It wasn't just like some blind luck or
Oh yeah, nobody was doing what I was doing.
or sometimes people have this sort of a blind faith in themselves.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
well, I forgot the name of the law, but like people who are incompetent
Right.
tend to believe in themselves more than the people who are competent. I forget.
Oh, yeah, you know what's funny? Looking back, I mean, 2025 now. Looking back though, I wouldn't consider myself like a filmmaker. I consider myself as an entrepreneur who happens to make films as the means for the business, right?
Sure.
Because I think that in any field that I could have gone that was freelance, I think I still would have been successful. But that's 2020. At the time, I didn't realize that that was it.
Yeah.
Now I realize that. But at the time, I was just like, I really want to do this, and I like doing it. It does not feel like I'm working. It feels fun. Because one, I was doing this thing that I liked. I was hanging out with the people that were doing the same thing that I was doing. We were shooting all the time, countless nights in front of the Golden Gate Bridge, 2 a.m., just trying to get the fog perfectly going under the bridge. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of dedicated nights and a lot of sacrificed time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it sacrifice. I would call it invested time.
Sure.
But yes, I did lose touch with a lot of my high school friends at the time. They were all, just starting their careers, and they were making good money, right? Like, I went from making $90,000 a year as an engineer to like $10 an hour putting lenses in boxes, right? Like, and this is in 2012 or 2010. And all my other friends were making $90,000 a year as engineers.
Yeah.
They're going to Vegas. I was shooting.
Yeah.
Right? I was perfecting my craft. I mean, not knowing that I was perfecting my craft.
Sure. You're finding your dues.
So like, I unknowingly sacrificed my friendships at the time, right? Because I wanted to focus on something that I truly believed in,
Yeah.
right? And I reconnected with my friends after my career took off. But at the time I was just like, I'm not gonna talk to anybody. I'm just gonna focus on this.
Sure. So now coming back,
Yeah.
the Warriors, not yet. The Giants.
Yeah.
So the Giants took notice,
Yes.
and they wanted to hire you.
Yeah, so they saw the video. They asked if I wanted to do that for them. I said absolutely. And this is in 2012 or 13, mind you. Right in the middle of their 10, 12, 14 World Series like thing. And then that video that they saw, they asked, can we play this at the end of each game that we win? I said, yes. You're gonna have to pay me.
Of course.
And they paid me a handsome reward of $400. And at the time, it was a lot of money because I was freelancing. I had no income.
Time? Or
No, one time.
Wow.
At the time, I thought it was a lot of money.
Okay.
So this is where the business acumen comes in later on, where I was like, I should have asked for an annual like royalty thing, licensing. Yeah. That didn't happen, but that opportunity with the Giants got me into opportunities with the Warriors, got me into opportunities with the NFL, the 49ers, the NBA, Pac-12, pretty much ESPN, all of the sports networks around here locally to the Bay Area. And now we produce pretty much everyone's content. Like everyone, all the teams out here, we have touched all of their content in some form or another, right? Whether it's YouTube, Instagram, whatever. Like we're probably producing even the in-house stuff, like I told you today.
Yeah.
A lot of the in-house content that they play on the big screens.
Yeah.
We touch that stuff.
Yeah. I would love to meet Caitlin Clark myself too. Let's go. They're about to play her right now.
But yeah, so that was the big break with the Giants. The guy who hired me from the Giants, he went to the Warriors in 2014. He brought me along to do some Warrior stuff. And this is right before they won their first championship.
Yeah.
So from 14 on till now, it's been 10 years. I've been working with them and I've been documenting this run for the last decade. And it's been amazing.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I've shot 4 parades,
right? I've gotten to go to LA to pick up the rings that they had. I even got into like a private jet with the guys, the jewelers, because they had this big ceremony thing. I got into the private jet. I was documenting all that stuff. I lit Steph Curry's ring on fire. I got in trouble for doing that, but they love the shots. I'm telling you, if you look it up, there's gonna be a shot with Steph Curry's ring and a ring of fire around it.
Oh my! You're the one who did it.
Yeah, I'm the one who did it. I did it in the back room. I put some lighter fluid around his ring. I lit that on fire, and I shot it in slow-mo. They were really impressed with the shot, but they got really mad at me because the ring was obviously very expensive. So, but yeah, so that kind of springboarded me into sports content to where I am today.
So would you say the beginning of your big break started with Paradise SF that you produced?
Yeah.
That caught the attention of the Giants, which became the lead into this new world of professional sports.
Yeah, it was surreal because at the time, so you have to put yourself back into 2010.
Yes.
Okay. And in this area, it was the biggest thing happening. And for a team, or the team, the Giants, who were winning these World Series, for the team to recognize my work, that was more than a green light to me. That was just like, full steam ahead, let's f***ing go. You know what I mean? Like, that was more of a sign, more than a sign.
Yeah. I mean, you guys can see this. I was in the Bay Area for a little while, for 5 years.
Yeah.
The Warriors were not very good back then.
No, they were sucking for a long time.
I remember, I think, when Baron Davis was on the
2007.
What was that called?
The We Believe team.
The We Believe team, right?
Yes.
I mean, that was probably like the most exciting thing that I remember of the Warriors. And that was like, a few years after I graduated.
That was 1 year, actually. Yeah, just 1 year of awesome basketball.
Yeah, just 1 year. So I think for Matt to enjoy that entire 10-year run, I think that's amazing. It's probably like a Warriors fan's dream come true to be up Bay Area, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you get to not just work, make money from it, but then as a fan, you're like, you got a front row seat almost.
Yeah. It's funny because a lot of my circle, they would always say, Matt, you're so lucky. And to me, internally, I felt like it was offensive for them to call it lucky.
Oh yeah.
Because I guess they didn't see the amount of time I spent shooting each time lapse.
Yep.
The amount of time I spent cultivating these relationships, even like following the right people on Twitter, for example, right? Like, had I not followed these people on Twitter who were affiliated with the San Francisco Giants, they would have never retweeted my video. And my video went viral. It actually got taken down because of copyright, but it went viral it got like 300,000 views at the time. This is 2010.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good amount of views.
Oh gosh, that ain't worth a lot more than what a view is worth today.
Right.
So there was no TikTok back then.
Exactly. So 300,000 views, and it got to the right people, right? So the amount of effort it took to get to that point was pretty much unseen. Like, people only see the tip of the iceberg, right? And no one really sees the amount of time and dedication, the long nights I spent like rendering out these videos. Sometimes the videos would crap out, or the renders would crap out, and I would have to restart it again. Or, I don't know, just emailing people like, hey, do you need a videographer for this weekend? Right? So it was a lot of effort to get to that point, to set up that moment with the San Francisco Giants. And that's why I say it was more than a sign.
Yeah. Now, you did mention very briefly that you had to decide whether you're gonna invest the time into, getting better at the craft of video production, or spending time with your friends, and you decided that you were gonna go the other route, right? You wanted to become better at doing videos. So besides that, what would you say is the biggest sacrifice that you made on your way to success? However you define success. I mean, I think in this context, we're talking about becoming really good with video production, right?
Yeah.
And running a production house. So what would you say is like the biggest sacrifice?
I don't often think about this, but I do reflect on it now that I'm like 15 years into this career. I do wish that I didn't sacrifice my health.
Okay.
Because now, the last 5 years, I've felt the consequences of shooting late nights, not shooting properly, so sacrificing my body, and not being aware of that, and really like the mentality of grinding was the motto,
Yeah.
as opposed to, hey, take care of yourself so that you could do this for a longer amount of time. I still enjoy what I do right now, but I know for sure I can't do the same thing that I was doing 10 years ago, right? If the Warriors won this year, or if they won this past year and they asked me to shoot a parade, I probably would not be running up and down the parade route this year, right? I would position myself to be where I'm comfortable now, right? But had I taken care of my body before, then maybe, yeah. I mean, I think that's one of the biggest sacrifices that I made. But I think in any avenue that we could have gone down, it's similar, right? Like even if I became an accountant, I'd be sitting at the desk, right, all day, right? Or an engineer, I'd be sitting at a desk all day. So I mean, your body gets sacrificed. So maybe having that awareness when I was younger, to really not focus on it, but be aware of it. Like, hey, do things incrementally as you're younger, so that when you get older, those incremental improvements become a big improvement, right? And it's similar to pretty much anything you really get into, right? It's incremental improvements, right?
Yeah.
If you see it as a big, not a big obstacle, like a big gap between where you are right now and where you want to be, it feels impossible. But if you take little steps in between and grow and get better, 1% each day, 0.5%, that's exponential growth,
Yeah.
right? So for the last 15 years, I've been growing exponentially, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And so, well, I do wish I took care of my health a little bit better.
So your health.
Yeah.
That was the one thing.
Right.
So I know like my audience has a variety of interests and backgrounds.
Yeah.
So not everybody's into video production, but I would say most people are an entrepreneur of some kind.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to the audience as sort of a general advice from the perspective of entrepreneurs? And what would you tell them? If somebody is going to start something today, it could be AI, right? Like AI is really big. Like earlier, we're talking about how AI is changing video production, right? Filmmaking. What would you tell them, right? Like somebody who is wanting to do something different, venture into something new today. What would your advice be? Whatever it may be.
Stop caring about what other people think. I think that was one of the things that held me back even before I went to college, was I thought about what people thought of me and the career path I took. And that's sort of why I went into engineering, because that was safe and everybody would be impressed with that, right? Had I not cared, I probably maybe would have went into filmmaking earlier, right? And even as I got into this career, that mentality of not caring what people thought, and I don't say that to be negative towards other people. I say that in the sense that you can't allow what other people think of you to impact what you're doing day to day. Because if you're focused on that, you're never gonna get anything done. You're always gonna worry about somebody, criticizing you or having feedback about what you do, or impressing somebody. Why are you wasting your time with that?
Yeah.
Like, even if, let's say you impress somebody, let's say you impress your girlfriend, how does that contribute to what you're doing in the future, right?
Right.
You might not end up with that person. In my case, I ended up with her.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thank God it worked out.
Yeah.
But a lot of people waste time worrying about what other people think. And in any stage of life, whether it's you're in high school, college, or the most, I think, critical, which is 18 to 27, that stage of your life, don't worry about what other people think of you. Like, you need to focus on you. And I call those the I call that the selfish years. Like you really need to hone in on what you do, who you are as a person, what you're gonna be doing in the future, right? Because that's a direct reflection to how you impact other people when you're of age. And when I say that, when you become a parent, when you become a husband or a wife, when you become an adult, when you actually finally meet your parents, right? Because you don't ever really meet your parents until you become an adult, right? Because they're just your parents up until you leave, and then you come back, you realize, oh my God, my parents did so much, right? And that's when you actually meet your parents. So, like, I think making sure that you're not worried about those things between 18 and 27 is really critical and important to entrepreneurs who are getting into, regardless if it's content creation, AI, who cares what other people think, right?
Yeah.
Just do what is within reason, right? Like, don't go doing stupid stuff.
Well, instead of we're on fire.
Right. Like, I mean, there's a saying here in Silicon Valley, right? Like break things until, right? Like something like that, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna keep breaking things, right? And so these successful people, like you don't have to mimic that exactly, but take some of the things that they're putting out there, right? That they've done, and apply it to yourself. Like, how do I do that? I met someone in 2012 or 13. His name is Nick No. At the time, he was a DJ, and he worked with a dance crew called the Jabberwockies.
Oh yeah.
And at the time, they had just won America's Best Dance Crew. And so they're from San Jose, right? So there's a creative group in San Jose that I linked up with, and he gave a talk, and he said something to the tone of make as much noise as you can. Make it your own noise. Because he was speaking as a DJ. So his noise was through music and dance. And so for me, I didn't know how to take that until I started applying what he meant to what I was doing, to my craft. And for me at that time was creating time lapses, going out and shooting, all these different types of events, perfecting that part of the craft, making my own noise in that field. And he said, if you make enough noise, they will reach out to you. And at this time, MGM had just reached out to them to put on a show in Las Vegas. It's one of the biggest shows going on still today in Las Vegas. And they're touring with Coldplay, they're touring with Joe Coy, they're on NBA Finals, they dance with Shaq. You know what I'm saying? Like, they've gone through everything pretty much. They've traveled the world, right? For me, I haven't traveled the world, but I applied what he said, which was make my own noise. And so this is how I did it. I made visual noise.
Yes.
Right? And so I applied that and I kept doing it. And that was sort of a mantra for me until the Giants thing came up. And to this day, I'm still really good friends with Nick. So every time I go down to Las Vegas, I'll hit him up like, hey, you want to go to a show or you want to meet up for lunch? Like, all right, cool, let's go.
That's awesome.
So Nick's has been a very big inspiration in my career. But these are the types of circles that start to expand when you get into your lane, right? And I said, like, don't worry about what other people say, because you never know who you're gonna meet. You never know who you're gonna run into. Like, these different connections that you make on your way to being who you are is gonna help you get to where you want to be.
Now to wrap up, I know you work with all these really big brands and companies and teams, but what are you doing these days with entrepreneurs? Are you doing anything with entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, or are you mainly focusing on agency work?
So agency work is, I want to say it's like 80% of what we do. But I have, in the last 2 years, I've created a system where it's almost running on its own. So I check in only 20% of the time. So for the agency work, I used to work about 50 to 60 hours a week, being on shoots, emailing clients, coordinating with clients, coordinating with crews. It was a lot of work. I enjoyed it though, but I started having children. So in the last 2 years, I created a team that's now handling most of that work for me.
So on the agency work, I really only work maybe 1 or 2 hours a day, as opposed to 8 to 10 hours before. And now that I have this extra time, I'm spending that focusing on my kids. I want to be there for them at school, to pick them up, drop them off. If they're sick, I want to be home to take care of them. I want to be, this is another story, but I basically want to be the opposite of what my dad was. So that's also been a mantra of mine. When I eventually had kids, I want to be the opposite of what my dad was doing.
Present.
I want to be present all the time. I want to be so present that they actually are tired of me being present. And I have succeeded, because my 7-year-old has told me, please don't show up at school anymore. I see you all the time. So, mission accomplished, right? So those are things that are really important to me. And in regards to entrepreneurs, I'm now starting up a sort of a coaching program where I can teach people how to make content without spending all this time into making content. The first 13 years of my career was hands-on, doing everything on my own. And then the last 2 years, like I said, was learning how to develop a system so that I can still have that without sacrificing my family. Because those same sacrifices that I made before with my friends and my high school friends, or my circle at the time when I was 18 to 27, I am not making that with my kids. I'm not sacrificing that.
Sure.
Because I've seen what has transpired if a parent is not there.
Yes.
Because I've experienced it.
Yes.
And I'm not going to do that to my children. So that's the reason why I'm doing this now, and I'm trying to show that to other people so that they can also see, like, hey, you don't really have to grind that hard, right? Like, there's people who've done it before that can show you how to do it easier, right? And if you want to, go ahead, right? Because in this game, you're either going to pay with time or you're going to pay with money, right? So how do you want to pay that, right? So the people who are willing to pay, I can teach them pretty much.
Yeah.
But if you want to learn, you could take 15 years too.
So, right. So if people want to learn from you, how do they enroll in your coaching program, or is there a set coaching program that they can enroll?
Yeah, so right now we have a YouTube channel that's going, and I'm giving this information pretty much away for free at the moment. But I do have a full content automation guide that I link into my YouTube channels. And it's like, I literally just started like 3 weeks ago. It's been 3 videos.
Awesome.
So we just started this.
Okay.
And I want to make sure that it's digestible enough in small amounts so that people who are getting into this are not overwhelmed. Because from where I started to where I'm at right now, that's overwhelming.
Yeah.
How the hell did you get from point A to point B?
Yeah.
Well, there's C, F, X, 4, 7, 22, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it was a crazy path. Had I not done this, it wouldn't have been that. There's an easier way to do that.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm gonna put the link to your YouTube channel
Thank you. Yeah.
on this interview somewhere,
Okay,
so people can get a hold of you.
for sure.
Or do you prefer people to contact you directly through PM somewhere?
Yeah, you guys they could DM me on Instagram, Matt Maniego on Instagram. But yeah, I'm pretty accessible. I only work 1 to 2 hours a day now. I'm trying to actually get that down to 1. Almost there, but we're getting to the point where the team is churning out the day-to-days without me having to really check in.
Yeah.
We're almost there, but as any entrepreneur knows who's kind of like in the height of their career, finding the right people is one of the hardest things to do.
Yes.
Basically your replacements.
Yeah.
Because no one's ever gonna be you. I'll tell you, like, no one is ever gonna be you. You can teach people different parts of you, which is what I've done in the last 2 years. So I have a team of 6 editors and 2 virtual assistants, and each one of them take a little bit of what I do day to day, right? So even that in itself is taking time to teach them.
Yes.
But no one is ever going to be you. So however long you take in getting to where you want to be, just know you're not replaceable. Even AI, right? Like, AI still has to learn you. So it's not ever going to be you.
That's right.
right? So I encourage people who are scared about AI to really like think deep about that. AI still needs a prompt.
That's right. I think AI is nothing but a tool. Right. It requires a skill driver.
Right.
So we need to be that skill driver and make it work and give us the right outputs.
Right. So if you're an expert in your field, like I wouldn't be scared about AI at all. Like there's literally no replacing it.
Well, guys, this is the interview with Matthew Maniego. Matthew, thank you for your time today. And I'm sure the audience get a lot out of it. And we will see you next time.